Hello, I'm Chuck Wooden. I'm also joined by my co-host, Monique Melanson-Hunter, and you're watching the Veterans Corner.
Thank you, Chuck. If you haven't seen the Veterans Corner before, it's a show dedicated to our veterans, their families, and those in the community that support our veterans.
Thank you, Monique.
Thank you,
and
Chuck.
once again, if you know, this is a part 2, but if no one saw the part 1, welcome back. It's great to have you back.
I miss our Veterans Corner crew and you as the host and our beautiful guests that we have today.
It's great to have you back. We're going to jump into it because this is actually a part 2, so the viewers know we have the Military Family Connection with us, and this is a group that we've wanted to have here and a topic for quite some time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you know, the first part was outstanding. I mean, it was with Kim Brown. We got Kim Brown to our right here, and we got Andrea Spears.
Yes, hi.
Andrea, it's great to have you.
Thank you.
Andrea's husband is now currently deployed. He's with the United States Army, and he's deployed in Afghanistan. And Kimberly, Kim, she's the founder of the Military Family Connection, and she's also with RGH, Resilience Grows Here, committee member, and also the biggie you are this year, the Elizabeth Dole Connecticut Fellow.
Yep, that's correct.
That's a massive
Wears a lot of hats.
Yeah, not to be confused, they're all separate too.
But it's great to have you back, and it's great to have you here, Andrea.
Yes, thank you.
We're going to continue the topic that we've been talking about, spouses.
Right.
Spouses, how they're affected by their loved ones being deployed.
Right.
So we're going to jump right into this, because we've got a lot to cover.
So, Andrea, can you share with us a little bit your experience being a military spouse?
Yeah, so I'm actually new to this. Like, I'm a new military spouse. We got married in June, and then Alex left September, so it all happened really quick. So the military spouse role came on faster than I expected. It's been rough. It's definitely been a struggle, but I think I've come a long way, because from the beginning, when he first left, I didn't know where to turn. I was able to reach out to one of the people that was in the unit, and she actually referred me to Kim, which was my saving grace, because now I go to her groups every 2 Thursdays, twice a month. And if it wasn't for that, I don't know what I would be doing right now, or where I would be.
Yeah, but now you have Caitlin too.
Yeah, that was my other saving grace. Both of them.
Obviously, that's a credit to what you've been doing for the last year.
Yeah.
You must love hearing stories like that.
It's why I do it. It's when there was no one at the meetings, and I show up thinking like, all right, got my Dunkin' Donuts coffee and my munchkins, and I'm ready to do this, and then no one walked through the door and be like, oh my gosh, I've advertised so much, like I've poured my heart and soul into it, and no one comes. But then I meet people like Andrea and Caitlin and Laura, and just knowing like, if it wasn't for our group, they wouldn't have ever met each other or had any support. We keep hearing the same thing, that they don't, the FRG or the key spouses, they don't reach out. Nobody's calling these women to check in.
And just to recap for the viewers who might not have seen the first part, Kim is also a military spouse who went through everything that Andrea's going through right now.
Yeah.
We had Chris, your husband, on the last show last week, and you know, I mean, you're obviously qualified to run this program because you've been there.
It's the best, because, you know, going through it, and even now going through the medically retired portion of it and being a caregiver, it's you know, you don't know what you're doing until you're navigating it. You're kind of figuring it out as you go. And I made a lot of mistakes, you know. When my husband was deployed, coped in crappy ways. Can I say crappy?
Yeah. Certainly can.
I coped in really bad ways, and yep, I did it twice. But you know, and now I know that the things that I said, the things that I did, and how I could have dealt with it, and now I can be that support so that other people have it, and it makes me feel good just as much as it makes them feel good. I feel good being able to be there for them.
And as we're learning, you're saving grace for a lot of them.
Yes.
Yeah, she is.
Andrea, based on your own personal experience, what is the hardest part of having a spouse deployed? I know that's probably
the separation is. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Jump in, Kim?
Do you want me to?
Sorry.
It's okay. No, it's perfectly fine.
Not getting to share like new things when I want, because he's not, I can't just call and say, hey, this is happening or this is coming up, and I'm excited to share with him, but I can't.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. Not physically having him there. I'm sorry.
Please don't apologize.
It's sad. I feel sad right now too. I'm like, oh my God, don't cry.
No
Don't
need
do this to
at all to
yourself.
apologize. Absolutely none.
It's rough. It's but it's taught me a lot, like, about myself, because I left my job in June because I wanted to prepare. I was like, I'm gonna take the whole summer off and I'm gonna like beat this thing. I'm gonna be so mentally prepared that when it comes and when I'm going through it, I'm gonna be good. Yeah, no, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
It actually did the complete opposite, because we spent so much time together that when he wasn't there,
It was more of a shock.
yeah, and then it was like little things, like, and I still can't move things, like where he left his sneakers the last time he wore them and took them off. They're still there. His dusty hat that's on my dashboard, I don't move it. I won't even clean the car in that section because I don't want to touch it. I'm like, he touched it. Like, I don't want to move anything I just want to leave it where it is, because it makes me happy to see it that he left it there. He was the last one that touched it. So there's a lot of little things that make it hard, but him not physically being here, I would say, is the hardest part.
Now, you said he was deployed in September.
Yeah.
When does the deployment end?
July.
July?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
While he's deployed, Andrea, does the unit provide any support for you or to you?
I mean, they try to put things together to bring the spouses and families together. They do that, but it doesn't feel the same as it does as when I went to the group that Kim runs, and that's just simply because Kim's group feels like a safe space, like where you go there and you're able to just vent. It doesn't matter what you're venting about. Everyone just sits there and listens and gives feedback, and they share their experience, which helps a lot. When you're at the events that the unit provides for you, it kind of feels like you have to put on this like person, like you have to be like really strong, and like you don't want to show any emotion, or
Weakness,
right,
like that.
and it feels like you're not being you. It feels like you're kind of like pushing everything down to like be in that moment, and I feel out of place, so I don't attend those.
Yeah, and it actually could make it harder,
Right.
actually, by
It does.
putting on that face for someone else. You shouldn't have to do
Yeah.
that.
And plus, when you're with Kim and the group there, I mean, you're dealing with people that have experienced,
Right.
and there's no, there's no one judging you.
Right. And that's what makes it so easy. So when he initially left, it was on a Thursday, and by Saturday I was calling her. They gave me her number, and I honestly don't know how she even understood a word I told her, because I was just sobbing into the phone. And she immediately shared her experience, told me it was okay. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to cry and not be yourself right now. Just do what you have to do to get by and to make it to tomorrow, and just keep doing that. Just take it day by day. And that was huge, because it meant more than hearing the people who were telling you, like, it's just 9 months. Like, it's not a big deal.
They're
It's
reading
9 months.
out of a book,
Yeah.
what they're supposed to tell you.
Reading out of a book. I actually, funny you say that, I called a number that I was provided to call for help. And after he left, I started noticing like changes like immediately, because I've never dealt with anxiety, and I felt like I was having like an out-of-body experience, and I panicked, and I was like, I have to go to the hospital, or like I don't know what's going to happen to me. Like I don't feel like I'm me, and so I called, and immediately the female who answered said, before we begin, I have to read this to you, this disclosure. And I was like, okay. So she read it, and I'm still sobbing on the phone. And then she said, also, I need to know your husband's name and his pay grade. And that for me just like set me over the edge, because I was like, what does his pay grade have to do with what I'm going through right now? And it upset me. And then she proceeded to ask me if I was suicidal, or if I had any intentions of hurting myself, and if I was in a safe place. And that did the opposite for me. It didn't make me feel like it wasn't comforting.
It wasn't personal.
No, and it wasn't comforting at all. It felt more like this person was just reading off the script, and they were asking me what they needed to for liability reasons.
Right.
And it didn't feel like it did when I called Kim.
We are extremely happy that you did find Kim.
Yeah.
Oh my God, me too.
There's a picture of me on the phone with her at an event. Like I took it while I was at the Warrior Within event, and I'm in the picture like with my first call. But I think we spoke on the phone like 2 to 3 times a day after that.
Yeah, we did.
I was dropping my girls off and be like, just 1 sec.
Yeah.
And we'd talk. And honestly, I mean, I remember moments where I felt emotional, and it was embarrassing. It made me feel bad. There was a time when Chris and I lived in Georgia together, and he was getting ready to deploy. And every time I think about it, I still could cry, literally. We lived in our home, and then when he was getting ready to leave, I just wanted to go home. I didn't have kids, or, I just wanted support. So I moved back, and the day that he left, I checked into a hotel, and the woman at the front desk said to me, "Oh, are you visiting? Who are you seeing?" And I was just like, no, started sobbing, my husband is leaving. What's wrong with you for asking me if I'm on vacation? Yeah. And after that, I had 2 mimosas in my fridge, and I just, that's all that I had with me in my luggage, and I couldn't bear to throw them away because they were the last things we were going to drink together.
It's the public. The public has no idea. Mm-hmm. It's not that they're being insensitive. They're just not educated.
Yeah.
There is not enough, and that's why we do this.
Right.
We try to educate the public. We try to let them know what's going on this topic and many other topics. Mm-hmm. There isn't enough shows like this out there to educate the public. And that's why we do what we do.
Well, I think they go off of what they see, like Army Wives, that show where, the guys go off and then all the gals just rally together and they go drinking or they do this. For me as an active spouse on a base, there wasn't that camaraderie that even the Army Wives show had. The FRG called me once while Chris was deployed to tell me somebody got hurt, but left it in a cryptic fashion that made it sound like my husband was injured and I needed to call back immediately. So I think people go off what they see, or they see the soldier kissing in Times Square, that iconic photo, and they think happy ever after, they're home, it ends, it's over.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Coming back from a regular work day at the construction site.
Yeah.
Or the office.
They're back, now go get the kids off the bus.
Andrea, what's it like being on the opposite end now, as far as being a caregiver and helping out with the
She's
group?
not there yet. It's me.
Really?
Yeah. That question's supposed to be for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You did it wrong.
I did it wrong.
She's thankfully
I'm
not a
entitled
caregiver.
once in a while.
Right.
And I hope that she
It's
never
awesome
has
though,
experienced this.
having to hear
What to prepare for.
not what she's going through, but what she was faced with and how she's dealing with it. Because I feel like that's another thing that people don't know and don't think about. They think they're coming home, they're good. They're gonna go back to work, everything's gonna fall back into place, and then it might not happen that first year, that second year, it might be 5 or 10 years down the road. And then it's now what?
Yeah, that was one thing that I was worried about having my deployed spouses in the group was, are we going to scare them?
No.
But I think, was it you or Caitlin who had said, one of the girls in the group had said, another caregiver was sharing her story and about her son and how he was really mentally affected by his dad deploying. And I think it was Caitlin who had said, thank you. I would never have thought to look for these things with my son. And I think I mentioned this before to you, Monique, that, kids, I think it was you, but kids.
I think it was me.
Kids are affected too.
I just wrote that down for another topic down the road.
Yeah.
I think it's the most unsung topic, though, because, you know, we talk about the veteran and we do talk about the caregiver, or we do talk about the spouses, but we don't really talk about the kids and what's that look like. Like earlier on the last show, we talked about the book that we read to my daughter and the effect it had on her. But what resources are out there for her? We don't know. I mean, there aren't really any. They can go to summer camp for free because their dad's injured, but I mean, what sort of emotional support is there for them?
They go to summer camp with other kids
Yeah,
that aren't
yeah.
experiencing the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's actually interesting because when he left, my first thing after I spoke to you was there has to be something out there that I can read. And there was something on Google that was like 11 tips on how to deal with a deployment. And I started reading them and I was like, none of this makes sense. Like, what is this? So then I was like, let me try Amazon because they have everything. So I went on there, I looked for a 5-star book. I ordered it. And then actually Caitlin told me to buy a book called The 5 Love Languages. It was the military edition. And that book, I think I read it 3 times now. And I just realized there's nothing out there to even educate people if they were interested, because a lot of it is written based on like what people are seeing through others, and it's not like personal, which is why I started writing a book.
I was gonna say.
Right after he left, I was like, I need to write a book. Like, I have been told the craziest things going through this. Like, you need to find God and get good with God, and He'll handle your deployment. Or it's just 9 months. It's not that long.
It'll go by like that.
It'll go by in a flash. Or take this time to grow.
Check off some things on your bucket list.
And these are all people telling you this
Right.
that never, ever didn't even live next door to someone that experienced it.
Right.
Never mind that.
And it was
themselves.
offensive. It set me back a lot when I heard those things. And there would be times where I just wanted to scream or just tell them like I wish I could send you and everyone you love over there right now, just so you could feel it. Like,
Right. That's an honest feeling.
Yeah.
That's absolutely honest.
And so the book is split up into 3 parts. It's before he left, the second part is while he's away, and then the third part will be when he gets back, how that is. So I'm excited.
When it's completed, you know you have a place here to get the word out.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So, what about your civilian friends? Do you have a feeling that they kind of get what you're going through? Are they supportive of you, and do they understand what you're going through?
In the beginning, no. In the beginning, no one understood. Not even my parents. No one. Not even my siblings. No one understood. And I feel like over time they started to realize that saying nothing was better than saying anything, because sometimes saying things like, oh, did you see the news? Did you see what happened in the news? Well, he wasn't there, was he? Or is that where he is? I'm like, well, thanks. No, he's not there, but now I have to see like what's going on. And we've gotten to a place now where they know that it's better to say less to me, and that's helped a lot. Less is more right now.
There's also a connection, even though your husband might not be there, there's a connection with other spouses who they might be there.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's going to affect you just as much.
Yeah.
I think seeing anything on the news at all, even if it's in a different, I mean, like, I think when I talked to you about Iran and Iraq, you were like, I know. I was telling you about Chris's experience, and you're like, I know. When they were mobilized or whatever, you were like worried. I just think that any news is scary and triggering at this point.
Right. And the media doesn't help either. I mean,
No.
they not glorify it, but I think that they want to get as much excitement as possible. And for someone like you girls that would be, affected greatly by news like that, it's really not beneficial by any means. Probably would not want to watch the news.
No.
Right.
Nope. I don't watch it.
And it's not like
Yeah.
the news has a high degree of sensitivity.
That's true. Exactly.
It's all about ratings. And
Right. Yeah.
Kim, does bringing the community of military families together help? Obviously it does. and we've discussed. Do you want to touch any more on that?
I mean, just hearing Andrea talk, I think really wraps it up. You know, the caregiver component of it, because it's not just active spouses in the group, but the caregiver component of it, and the spouses who are just, you know, I think for me, it does help, because even for me, I mean, being able to come in and talk to them about my experiences, or they're definitely different than what you're going through, but the non-judgment, the like, this is a safe space, it's still there for me. I mean, I've lost so many friends who couldn't understand our journey and our obstacles because they see my husband as acting strange or manipulative, or, you know, he's a monster, but he's a person hurting who's seen things that nobody should see or go through. So I think it does help, and I mean, each day we meet more and more people.
I think you're going to have some lifelong friendships out of this as well.
Oh yeah, they
True friends.
like sisters. Like I was like, that's insane. Like I call sobbing, and she's got like, she had the right thing to say every time, and I was
so
like,
nervous to meet her the first time, though. I was like, I hope I'm everything she thinks I'm going to be for her. I felt so pressured when I met her at Dunkin'.
Nope.
Like, oh
I was so nervous going there, but at the same time, I was like, she knows what she's talking about. She lived it, so it made me feel a lot better.
Okay, we got about 3 minutes left. We got one question left. Maybe
Yeah. Okay, this is important. So, because we have a lot of veterans that watch the show and their spouses. So, where can people go to attend meetings or to find out more information on joining your coffee groups and?
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting stuff going on. So right now we meet, Andrea's group that we meet at is the first and third Thursday of each month, and it's in East Granby Farms at 10 a.m. We also meet in Colchester, Connecticut at Inner Resource at 6:30 at night, the second Friday of every month. And now we're going to be meeting the last Tuesday of each month in Simsbury at Starbucks at 6:30. So
can I have your website?
Yep. So you can visit us if you want at on our Facebook page, the Military Family Connection, or also you can link up with us on Resilience Grows Here page, because it's a program through them.
And that has all the
Excellent.
events that you just discussed.
Yep. I keep the Facebook page up to date the most, though, because I can access it every single day. So.
I think I put something on our Facebook page.
Yep.
Veterans
You
Corner.
did.
Yeah, you actually attended our luncheon.
I went there on Saturday.
I know the turnout wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be as well, but
It's the beginning.
yeah, and we met 3 brand new families, a lot of veteran families, so it was really great. And honestly, seeing the guys building the birdhouses together was just phenomenal.
Did you build a birdhouse?
No, they wouldn't
Chuck?
let me near the
Okay.
tools.
What? That's not true. And actually, as soon as I'm packing up the sandwiches, Monique, he goes, "Oh, well, I didn't get any."
I ran over there and
leftovers.
Yeah, I'm like, you could.
They had to, you know, take the cover off
And then spoon feed it to him.
1 minute. We have 1 minute left. You girls were extremely interesting. We have to have them back, Chuck.
Absolutely.
I make a lot of demands.
Well, Andrea has.
I mean, these topics, as we just learned right now, are extremely important.
Yes.
And we got to talk about the kids. We've got to talk
Yes.
more about what you go through and let the public know.
Yeah.
And she's been really motivated to get involved, so you definitely got to have her back.
Yes. Yes.
I
please
have
come
had
back in.
no
Yeah.
communication whatsoever with the control room. I know you've, and I think we're down to less than a minute.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
So
I was waiting for the 10-minute mark, and it just wasn't coming. Thanks for filling in for me.
No problem, Chuck. I'm psychic.
You know, with that being with that, I hope your psychic abilities are accurate.
I hope so too.
Thank you again. It was
Thank
really
you.
great to have you here. Great to have you back, and you guys
Anytime.
will definitely be back again. With that being said, that's all the time we have. We want to thank the guests, the viewers for watching. I'm Chuck Wooden.
I'm Monique Melanson Hunter.
Good night, and we'll see you next time on the Veterans Corner.